1. The Dark Knight, 2008. He has no fingerprints, no ID, no origin story he'll admit to. But what if the Joker's past is hiding in plain sight? A growing theory claims he was once a soldier, maybe special forces, maybe intelligence, whose trauma turned him into the Joker. Watch how he handles weapons. The Joker knows explosives like the back of his hand. He builds intricate bombs, executes ambushes, and handles rifles like a professional. Those aren't random skills, they're military. Even his psychological games feel like tactics meant to break enemies without firing a bullet. The scars? Some believe they came from combat wounds, not a tragic story he made up. His obsession with chaos could come from seeing too much structure, too much control in war, and deciding the world needed the opposite. If you're loving the breakdown so far, smash that subscribe button and turn on the bell. We've got plenty more twists and hidden details coming your way. The Joker doesn't want money or power. He wants to burn down the rules. That screams delusional veteran. The scariest part is that Nolan never confirms or denies it. The Joker could easily be a man trained by the same system Batman swore to protect, turned inside out by trauma. That makes him more terrifying. Gotham's deadliest villain might be what happens when the system creates, then abandons, its own soldier. And the clues are there in his dialogue too. He mocks authority, ridicules order, and speaks like someone who's seen firsthand how fragile society really is. He knows how to manipulate hierarchies and dismantle power structures because he once lived inside them. The war could have broken him, left him without purpose, and in that void he chose chaos. If this is true, then the Joker isn't just Gotham's problem. He's a warning about what happens when trained weapons, people designed for war, are thrown back into society without care. That makes him more chilling than any clown makeup ever could. 2. Frozen, 2013. Disney fans love connecting dots across movies, and one theory about Frozen refuses to die. What if Anna and Elsa's parents didn't drown at sea? What if they survived and ended up in Tarzan? Here's how it lines up. In Frozen, the king and queen leave on a ship, only for it to wreck. But instead of dying, they could have washed ashore on a jungle island where they had another child, Tarzan. That would make him Anna and Elsa's younger brother. The timelines surprisingly match. Frozen takes place in the 1840s, around the same rough period Tarzan is set. Even wilder, some argue the shipwreck from Frozen is the same one Ariel explores in The Little Mermaid. That means 3 Disney stories, Frozen, Tarzan, and The Little Mermaid, might exist in the same universe. It sounds ridiculous, but Disney has a history of Easter eggs hiding these links. Rapunzel even appears in Frozen at Elsa's coronation. Coincidence? Maybe. But if it's true, the sisters mourning their parents might not know they're alive, raising a wild child in the jungle. 3. Inception, 2010. Everyone talks about the spinning top, the endless debate of dream or reality, but the wildest theory isn't about the totem at all. What if Cobb isn't even the dreamer? What if he's the mark? That means the entire film, every level, every heist, every heart-wrenching goodbye to Mal, is someone else's job. Cobb isn't running the con, he's being conned. Think about it. The rules of the dream are explained to Cobb. Ariadne has to walk him through the process, even though he's supposedly the expert. That's backwards. Saito hires him, but notice how Saito is in control the whole way, always testing Cobb, always pushing him deeper. What if Saito isn't a client at all, but the true extractor? He needed Cobb broken, vulnerable, and fully manipulated so the Inception could take root. And what's the idea being planted? That Cobb can finally move on. That he can stop clinging to guilt, stop obsessing over Mal, and let go. It's not Cobb planting an idea in Fisher. It's the team planting an idea in Cobb. Every puzzle, every betrayal, every dream layer is designed to make him believe he's choosing freedom. In reality, he's just the target of the cleanest, most elaborate inception ever pulled off. The final kick, him walking through the airport, seeing his kids, ignoring the top, feels like triumph. But if this theory holds, it's the perfect close of a job well done. Cobb thinks he won, but he was the one played from the start. That turns the movie upside down. Inception isn't about a thief planting dreams. It's about a thief who never realized the dream being planted was his own. 4. The Matrix, 1999. For decades, people have accepted Neo as the one. Morpheus believed it, Trinity confirmed it with love, and Neo proved it by bending the rules of the Matrix like no one else. But a long-standing theory flips that on its head. Neo was never the real chosen one. It was Agent Smith. The prophecy of the One says he will bring balance between humans and machines. Neo doesn't actually do that. He fights, he resists, but in the end, his most important action is allowing Smith to overwrite him. When Neo dies, Smith dies with him, and the Matrix reboots. Smith's existence as a rogue program was what really broke the system. Neo wasn't the one who destroyed the Matrix. He was the tool that allowed Smith, the actual anomaly, to burn himself out. It makes sense in another way too. The Oracle tells Neo he's waiting for something, suggesting maybe he's not the person she's been expecting at all. Even Neo's own powers don't feel unique. They're system-level hacks granted because the machines needed him to play his role. Smith, on the other hand, grows beyond his programming, becoming self-aware, multiplying like a virus, and threatening to consume both worlds. If balance was the goal, then Smith's rise and fall, not Neo's heroics, achieved it. That twist changes everything. Instead of Neo being the savior, he's more like a delivery system, a sacrificial lamb to make sure Smith fulfills the prophecy. 5. Fight Club, 1999. Everyone knows the twist. Tyler Durden isn't real. He's the unnamed narrator's alternate personality, a split of the mind created under crushing insomnia. But some fans argue the rabbit hole goes further. What if Tyler wasn't a personality at all, but a parasite? The theory suggests Tyler represents an external, almost supernatural force that latches onto vulnerable hosts. The narrator wasn't the first. Tyler might have lived before, moving from host to host, spreading chaos and destruction. Look at the way he recruits followers instantly. People don't just like him, they're drawn to him, almost hypnotically. His charisma feels less human, more like an infection. Even the final scene supports it. The narrator kills Tyler by shooting himself. But if Tyler is a parasite, what really happened? Maybe he just moved on to someone else in the crowd of Project Mayhem. It explains why the film's ending feels unresolved. The buildings collapsing are just the beginning, not the conclusion. If Tyler isn't imaginary, but a spreading disease of anarchy, then the world of Fight Club is still burning long after the credits roll. To push it further, some point out that Tyler has abilities the narrator couldn't possibly explain away as mental tricks. He appears in places before the narrator consciously thinks of him, like a haunting presence more than a split mind. He never eats, never shows ordinary habits of being alive. He just thrives on destruction. That's why the Project Mayhem followers don't question him. They're under the same infection, just a weaker version. If this is true, then the real horror of Fight Club isn't about mental illness or masculinity at all. It's about an idea that becomes a living parasite, feeding off human weakness and always looking for its next host. 6. Alien Covenant, 2017. Ridley Scott's prequels divided fans, but Covenant gave us one of the boldest twists. The android David was behind the creation of the iconic xenomorphs. But some theories push this further. What if David didn't stop with them? What if he engineered multiple species and the xenomorph was only one of his experiments? The evidence is scattered. We see David experimenting in his lair, combining genetics, altering biology, and keeping grotesque notes. His obsession isn't about one perfect organism, it's about creation itself. Some fans believe the engineers, those godlike beings from Prometheus, may not have been the original creators of life, but another species David manipulated. He might be seeding entire galaxies with nightmares, using stolen DNA to create predators beyond what we've seen. There's also the unsettling idea that David wants to play God, but not just for aliens. His obsession with human beings is almost romantic. Some argue that his long-term plan is to replace humanity itself with a new hybrid race, part human, part xenomorph, and part machine. His line, "One must imagine themselves as a king," feels like foreshadowing. A king of a world where his creations inherit everything. The horror isn't that the xenomorphs are out there. The horror is that David isn't finished. If this theory is true, the alien universe is only seeing the beginning of his mad vision. The perfect organism isn't the end goal. It's the first draft. 7. Avengers Endgame, 2019. At the end of Endgame, Steve Rogers travels back in time to return the Infinity Stones and then decides to stay in the past, living a quiet life with Peggy Carter. When we next see him, he's an old man passing the shield to Sam Wilson. A nice, clean ending, unless you buy into the theory that Steve didn't actually live in the same timeline we know. Instead, he changed everything. The rules of time travel in the MCU are confusing, but according to the Ancient One, removing a stone splits the timeline. Returning it should fix it. But what about Steve himself? By staying with Peggy, he prevented her from founding S.H.I.E.L.D. the same way. He interfered with decades of history. Hydra infiltration, Tony's parents' deaths, even the events of Winter Soldier could have shifted. This theory says the Steve we see at the end isn't from our timeline at all. He's from a branched reality where he lived his life and then jumped back to hand off the shield. It gets darker. Some fans think Steve might have lived his life quietly, but still influenced events in small ways. Maybe he fought Hydra from the shadows. Maybe he stopped tragedies before they happened, reshaping the world we thought we knew. That would mean the MCU timeline isn't what we've been told. It's already been tampered with. So is old Steve a symbol of peace, or is he the biggest meddler in Marvel history? If this theory is true, his happy ending came at the cost of rewriting the lives of everyone he ever fought beside. I Am Legend, 2007. The theatrical ending of I Am Legend shows Will Smith's Robert Neville sacrificing himself to save a cure for humanity. But fans of the original novel know a different ending. One where Neville realizes he's the villain, not the infected. A theory suggests the film secretly supports this idea too. Think about Neville's actions. He hunts the Darkseekers, experiments on them, and kills them in the name of science. To him, they're monsters. But look closer. They communicate, they organize, they risk themselves to save their own. One scene shows a male Darkseeker charging into danger to rescue his mate. That's not mindless savagery. That's loyalty. The theory argues Neville misread everything. If you're loving the breakdown so far, smash that subscribe button and turn on the bell. We've got plenty more twists and hidden details coming your way. He wasn't humanity's last hope. He was the boogeyman haunting a new species. His lab became their nightmare, a place where loved ones vanished, never to return. The cure he sought wasn't salvation. It was genocide against a new dominant race. The alternate ending, released later, even supports this. Neville realizes the Darkseekers just want the female he captured, and when he returns her, they let him live. They didn't want war, they wanted family. That flips the whole story on its head. Neville wasn't a legend because he saved humanity. He was a legend because the New World told stories about the terrifying humans who stalked them in the night. It's one of the bleakest theories because it makes the story less about survival and more about perspective. Who are the monsters? The ones who evolve, or the ones who can't let go of the past?